Hi, welcome to Light Plots. This is Introduction to Light Plots. We'll just do a quick overview, and then in subsequent videos I'll get into a little bit more detail about all of the information that's available on a light plot. But let's just go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so here we are, and we're looking at a light plot for a lab that I built for a period of time. And at first you look at it and it just seems like there's just a mess, and there's a whole jumble of different symbols and different numbers, but everything that's out there actually has a meaning and is useful. So the first thing that I want to talk about is almost every plot has some sort of label or tag or logo or that talks about what the plot is for. So this was a lab plot. Another thing that plots are going to have is going to be a scale. So if you're using a scale rule to measure this, if you print this out in the correct scale, then everything will measure out. So you can tell how far apart all of the lights are. And remember that we typically hang lights on 18-inch centers, which is how this is drawn with everything along 18-inch centers. So the information on a plot. So we talked about scale. The next thing is actually going to be the legend. And the legend is just like being able to read a map. Rather than labeling each one of the fixtures individually, what they each are, what we've done is drawn a symbol, right? So this symbol actually is equal to a style or a type of light, and it's the legend that defines them. So if we were to look at our first symbol, which is a source for 19 degree at 575 watts, we can look at it and in comparing with the other symbols, the thing that is different is are the cross tags or the notation that is in the front of the lens. It's right here in the front of the fixture. So if we go ahead and we look around our plot, we're looking for a symbol that has those X's across the front, right? And I see X's here, but it's a different shape, right? So if I keep going, oh look, here's one. So this is going to be a 19 degree source 4. This one is going to be a 19 degree source 4. Let's look at another symbol, the 26 degree source 4. So if I go ahead and look over here, look, my very first one is a 26 degree. Here's another 26 degree, and they all have that single slash through them. A fixture with no slash is a 36 degree, and there's one there, and one here, and one here. And then a 50 degree has this little V. Let's see if we have any of those. I am not seeing any of those fixtures with the little V, so that's not used. D60 fixture has got this funny little shape and that line in the back, and I can see that there are two of them here. And then these are the various configurations of pars. And if I'm looking quickly across the drawing, I can only see two, right? So we have a par that with a cross across the front is a very narrow spot, and we have open with nothing inside of the symbol, and that's a medium flood. And then there are 6-inch Fresnels, and it doesn't appear that there are any 6-inch Fresnels used. Okay, so those are the symbols, right? So referencing the legend is how you tell what kind of fixture it is, and it has information about the lens and the wattage. Now, let's just go ahead and scroll down a little bit. This is the key. And on a plot, there will always be a key, and it's how you decipher what all the little numbers and what all the little text mean, right? So if we're starting to look at the key, I'll zoom in a little bit, right? The big number that's in the middle of each fixture only just strictly corresponds to what light it is along the pipe, right? So along this front pipe, this position, we count unit number 1, unit number 2, unit 3, unit 4, and unit 5. And that's notated here by this unit number and the number within the key. Now if I were to look at one of the other positions, right? Our stage left pipe, we see unit number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is just a sequential order along the pipe, so that if I need to go to fixture number 3 on the front of house pipe, I can just go up and count 1, 2, 3, and there I am. Okay, so some of the other numbers that are associated with it. There's a number that's inside of an oval, and if we look down at our key, we see that this oval corresponds to the channel. This is the channel number that is controlled from the console, right? And so if I were to bring up channel 41, this lamp should illuminate, right? This fixture here, unit number 2, channel 31. This fixture here, channel 21. This fixture here, channel 2. It's just the channel number. The number that's in the octagonal, right, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sectagonal, this little shape here, right, is the dimmer number, and that's what the fixture is actually plugged into. It sometimes is also used as an address if the fixture requires an address. But this is what we actually plug it into. This number is very important for electricians, less important for lighting designers. The lighting designer doesn't care where you plug things in, right? So this is where it's plugged into. It's its dimmer number. As we move towards the front of the fixture, you'll see that there is a text field for color. And the color is put in front of the lens, or sometimes off to the side of it, right? It usually has the prefix. It's pretty easy to discern what it is. I don't believe that this plot has any gobos, but if there were any gobos, they would be above the color, and they would be in this bold format so that you can easily tell that it's a template as opposed to a color. The last tag that is on the fixture is just a text tag. I draw it very small because I don't need to reference it. It just transfers over to other paperwork. And it's the purpose. All I'm doing with the purpose is telling me what the brief description of what that light does. This one says leaves. This one says front. This one says LED stage right. It's just a little text tag to help remind me about what that light's purpose is within the light plot. Okay, so we've covered just a couple of things, right? We've got the title, the scale, the legend, which is the symbols, the key, which explains all the numbers around, and the last thing, and it should have been earlier, there's a tag that will be associated with a row of lights or a lighting pipe. And that tag is referred to as its position, right? It's where it is in the physical space. It's often labeled as first electric, second electric, first catwalk, first cove, a variety of different names based on the different positions throughout the theater. So this is the stage right pipe, stage left pipe, and the front pipe. Okay, so that's what I have for introduction to light plots, and we'll cover some associated paperwork in the next video.